So, quickly moving on, tomorrow's match going to be a big opening day. I don't know whether it's a good thing we've got Arsenal or whether we could have had a lower team. Personally, I think it's a good start. I don't doubt after last Sunday and the way we performed that Pep will be really pleased with the energy level that the players have come back, the enthusiasm that they've seemed to have come back with the likes of Walker and others coming back a little bit earlier. We're not sure who is available. Now, I know nearly everybody now is trained this week. Whether they're actually going to be fit to play tomorrow is another thing. I would suspect that some of them may be on the bench. However, if we take a look first at the Arsenal potential lineup. So what I'd like to do, and you'll see a graphic coming up in a minute, is I'll bring it up on my screen here, is what I'd like to do is take a look at potentially who Unai Emery may pick tomorrow, because they have got a few injuries. Now, I believe there's injuries to Kolasinac and Monreal in the back, so they're going to have replacements. Now, if we go through and start at the beginning, and you see the image here, which I'll put up now, I'm going to talk through who I believe and the formation that Emery may play against Manchester City. So, let's have a look. Well, I think he's going to play Leno. He's played in the pre-season matches, and I really think that Czech might not be the first choice goalkeeper to start with this year. So, I think Leno's going to be their goalkeeper. I think they're going to play what I think is a 4-2-3-1 formation. And I think Mustafi and Socrates, I don't know his other name, it's too long to pronounce, but I think Mustafi and Socrates will be the centre-backs. Playing at right-back, I think he'll play Bellerin because of the pace, potentially, if we do play Sane, or potentially Mahrez on the left. On the left, it looks like, because of Monreal's injury, Maitland-Niles, the young kid, good, really good prospect for Arsenal. I think he'll play on the left, so that might be an area for us to exploit. In the middle, what I think he'll do is in midfield, I think he'll play two holding midfielders to try and combat against our particular midfield. And I think he'll play Torreira, who will see what he's like. I mean, he was exciting at the World Cup. And I think he'll play Granit Xhaka in there. And they'll be the ones that will just sit in front of the defence and try and snub out any potential movement from our attacking midfielders. I think he'll play Ramsey just ahead of them, if fit. Now, I know he has got an injury, but he has started training yesterday. So I think Ramsey will play ahead of them. He'll provide the attacking guile, the passing, etc. for them, with Ozil on the left, Mkhitaryan on the right, and I think he'll play Aubameyang ahead of Lacazette, with Lacazette being another option off the bench. So I think I personally think that's the potential formation. We never know, but I think the formation will be something like a 4-2-3-1 for Arsenal. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to look at City and the potential formations this season that we can introduce under Pep Guardiola. Now, we don't know. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know. We heard Pep on the Premier League show basically saying, yes, we've worked on tactics, different types of tactics this season to try and combat teams that may think that they've worked us out. He didn't say formation, so I'm suggesting that even though we have in pre-season looked at potentially 3-5-2 formations, I think he'll still stick with a 4-3-3. But as we know, with even a 4-3-3 or 3-5-2, with Pep's formations, it's very fluid, it's dynamic, it can change in an instant. And I think in a video I'd said previously about Pep's tactics, he can change within literally 10 seconds with some directions if something isn't working out. So I'm going to stick initially with this particular formation, and I think he'll play a 4-3-3. Now, if we look at the first one, this is just one example. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the players like Brahim Diaz and Phil Foden and all the others, because it will just take too long. I'm going to just look and focus on the mainstay of the squad and where potentially we could swap some players in and out, and if there's three at the back, who could come in. There's a myriad of formations and players that can play in these positions. So, I'm going to cover maybe 5 or 6 of them, not maybe 20 or 25 of them. So if we look at this graphic I'm going to put on the screen now, As we can see here, we've got Ederson in goal. Playing with a 4 at the back, we've got Mendy, Stones, Company on this occasion, and Walker. Fernandinho playing in that central defensive role, with potentially Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva slightly ahead of Fernandinho. Mahrez wide right, Sane wide left, and Sergio Aguero up front. So that's one potential formation, and if you look at it, then it's really like a 4-3-3, but in a sort of diamondy shape type of formation. If we look at the second one now, which I'm going to put up on the screen. Now, on this occasion here, what we've got again is we've got maybe a 4-2-3-1 formation. This time, I've just replaced some of the players, just for examples. We've got Ederson in goal. We've got this time Otamendi and Stones playing as the two centre-backs, with Mendy and Walker wide in the full-back, wing-back roles. Fernandinho sitting deep, with potentially this time Kevin De Bruyne just ahead of him, picking up the ball, starting the play, with Bernardo Silva playing in almost like a 10 role, with Sane wide left, Mahrez wide right, and Aguero up front. So again, this time we've got a little bit of options. We can drop Kevin De Bruyne a little bit deeper, like similar to the way he played for Belgium in the World Cup. He wasn't so far forward, with Bernardo Silva ahead of him. Now, some might say, well, what about David Silva? Now, I personally think, I don't believe Bernardo Silva warrants dropping. Now, David Silva is my favourite all-time Man City player, but he's only just come back training this week after a long holiday in the summer. He's had nearly 4 weeks off after Spain got knocked out early. So I don't think it'd be fair with Bernardo Silva's recent performance for him to be dropped. So I personally would like to see, you know, Bernardo Silva play ahead of David Silva, and maybe David Silva come on for 15, 20, 30 minutes of the second half. So let's move on to a different type of formation in this particular graphic. So in this particular graphic here, what we've got is Ederson again. We've got, this time, we're going to play with maybe a 3-4-3 formation. And this time we've got Laporte, Stones and Company in that back three. You could replace any of them with Otamendi, that's not a problem. We've got Fernandinho with Walker wide right, Mendy wide left, KDB again just slightly ahead. This time we've got Sane, Mahrez and Aguero again ahead of them. So that can potentially change. And what we can do is we can switch people around, and we can put potentially Mahrez in behind. We could potentially put, you know, maybe KDB further right. I mean, it's so fluid. But let's have a look at a different type of formation with different players this time. So if we look at this one here, what we've got now is we've got basically a standard 3-5-2, but this time somebody playing in a 10 role rather than two, you know, strikers in particular. We've got Ederson. This time we put Otamendi in with Company and Stones. Mendy and Walker wide wing backs, with Fernandinho sitting in the middle. This time we've got KDB and Bernardo Silva playing ahead of Fernandinho, with Mahrez playing in behind Aguero. So Mahrez has brought so many options because he can play left, he can play right, he can play in a 10, he could potentially even play in a false 9. So that's another potential option for tomorrow. If we look at the next graphic now on the screen, this time what we're going to look at is we're going to almost look like it's like a 4-5-1 formation. This time we've got standard 4 at the back, with this time Laporte and Stones playing. So we've got natural left footer in Laporte, with Mendy on the left, and we've got Stones and Walker playing towards the right hand side. We've got Ilkay Gundogan now, if Fernandinho needs resting, just sitting in front. This time we've got KDB and we've got David Silva playing just ahead. This time we've removed Sane out of the squad and put him on the bench. We've put Raheem Sterling on the right, and we've moved Riyad Mahrez, onto the left, and we've replaced Aguero for Gabriel Jesus. So another option there, playing different ones, and we can even swap around Sterling. Sterling can potentially move inside into a 10. We could potentially move, you know, KDB over more on the right. We could move Mahrez and swap Sterling and Mahrez around. So there's lots of different options for us. Now, This is another potential formation. Now, this time what we've done is we've gone to what is really, we could say a 3-4-3, but this time what we've gone with is Laporte, Company, Stones, Fernandinho as the holding player with Walker and Mendy wide in fullbacks, KDB playing just ahead of Fernandinho, and this time tucking in rather than playing wide, and this time we might push through the middle of a team that might be playing with maybe 3 centre-backs and push it. They've got wing-backs as well. This time we're going to utilise Mendy and Walker to go wide, and this time Mahrez, and this time we put Jesus on the left, are going to play slightly in, allowing overlaps from Mendy and Walker wide. And this time we've got Aguero as the spearhead of the attacking three. So you can see there, KDB doesn't have to go too far forward. We've got Mendy and Walker that can bomb forward, overlapping outside of Mahrez and Jesus, and they could be Sane and Sterling. And there actually then we've got that intricacy of passing around the edge of their area with Aguero up front. So this, again, there are so many options available to us. And just this final one, this final graphic, which I'm going to show you now. Now this time what we've got is what if there were injuries to Jesus or to Sergio Aguero. So this particular graphic here shows you with a standard 4 at the back. So we've got, again, this time Company and Stones. We've got Mendy and Walker. We've got Fernandinho sitting. Now ahead of them we've got David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. We've got Sterling out wide on the right. We've got Sane wide left. And we've got Mahrez playing in a false 9. So, I mean, it's just incredible the amount of options that we've got. And I do really believe that rather than Sterling last year potentially or Kevin De Bruyne playing in a false 9, I think Mahrez will be suited far better because he's trickier. So if he gets the ball with his back to goal, he's got the skill to lay it off, turn, get into space, or with a little bit of trickery can beat a player and get a shot off very quickly. So I think Mahrez is more suited to the 9 position, the false 9, than potentially Sane, Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne. So many options, Blues. I mean, it's God knows what Pep is gonna think of. He's no doubt been working hard on this during the summer. They're just formations. God knows what he's got up his sleeve when it comes to tactics. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to finish on the 2 teams tomorrow, and I'm going to look at who I believe Arsenal will pick in their formation, and also Manchester City, and who I believe Pep may potentially play in that formation. So, as I said earlier, if you look at this particular graphic now, what we've got here is the original team I think that Arsenal will play tomorrow. So they're going to potentially play a 4-2-3-1. I think City will line up in more of a sort of 4-3-2-1, maybe a 4-3-3 formation. And I believe if we look at these players, I've selected Ederson with Mendy, Stones, Company and Walker as the back 4, Fernandinho sitting, KDB and Bernardo Silva as the players ahead of them, with Mahrez and Sane wide left and right, and Sergio Aguero up front. I really believe that Aguero can potentially get at Sokratis and Mustafi. I don't believe they are brilliant centre-backs. Sokratis will need some time to bed in. I do believe Aguero can find gaps between them and run beyond them. Then we've got Bellerin up against Sane. That's going to be a fantastic battle. Bellerin is very quick, but he's actually ill-disciplined. So it wouldn't surprise me if Pep really gets him running beyond Bellerin and coming inside potentially as well. On the other side, what we've got is Mahrez up against the young kid, Maitland-Niles. So Mahrez potentially can show his pace, show his speed, show his trickery, and hopefully give the kid a torrid time, because I really can't see Ozil coming back and helping out much. And if he does, then that's even better news for us, because that then means that we're forcing him back, and we can then introduce more of Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva inside. The midfield's going to be a bit of a battle, especially if they've got Xhaka and Torreira in there, because those 2 guys are literally going to sit, which means the space inside might be limited, which is going to need some creativity from Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva to work angles and try and just find that little bit of gap between those two and in front of the two centre-backs. And then obviously we've got, they've got Ozil, Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang. Well, you know, I think Mendy and Walker are going to make Mkhitaryan and Ozil really concerned about pushing forward too much. And their pace is going to frighten them. So I can really see tomorrow Arsenal are going to be cagey. They might, the first 10 minutes, they might have a go at us. But I think after that, they're going to sit deep. They're going to be really wary. There might be a few man-to-man marking positions, and it's going to be a very difficult game. But I do think City will prevail. I think overall, well, I think we've got too much creativity up front. If Sergio's back on any type of form like he was against Chelsea in the Community Shield, I'm going for Man City to beat Arsenal 3-1 on there. So anyway, guys, don't forget, keep subscribing. Watch out for the videos pre-match tomorrow. Watch out for the videos post-match. Don't forget, change your subscription to public and not private. You'll be in that draw for tomorrow, which we'll post onto our channel immediately after the game. And I'll show you the number of the subscriber that's been picked out and the name of the individual. So anyway, guys, Sandy from Man City Fan TV. Have a great Saturday afternoon. Come on, City. We'll see you soon.